welcome back to the Tales of Teens. Today's guest is Makarand Kaprekar, known as Mac. He's a dynamic professional with over 28 years of experience and a knack of simplifying complex business processes. With a career rooted in enterprise creation, Mac excels in uncovering behavioral patterns in people and organizations, allowing him to connect the dots and craft big picture strategies. He's a firm believer in the power of inquiry, guided by his motto, when in doubt, just ask. Having held leadership roles throughout his corporate journey at organizations like Johnson& and Johnson, Berkeley Head EDU, Mac brings deep insights and strategic expertise to every engagement. A master's in microbiology by training, Mac also holds a postgraduate degree in marketing management from NMIMS. He's a certified executive coach, certified OKR practitioner, and gold certified business coach. His credentials include serving as an implementation mastery facilitator at the World Business and Executive Coaches Summit and as visiting faculty member at the Praveen Dalal School of Entrepreneurship and Family Business Management. Outside his business engagement, Mac is an avid reader. He writes and loves to watch movies. His one-liners on WhatsApp status are a killer, I can tell you that. Please welcome Makarand Kaprekar. Hi,
Hey,
Makarand. Welcome to the show.
thank you. Thank you so much, Usha, for inviting me. This is a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you for taking time and inviting me on the podcast. Looking
Of
forward to it.
course. Of course, I just had to. I hope it's okay to call you Mac. I think that's how you go, right?
Perfectly all right. Absolutely.
Okay, all right, Mac then. Um, so I can't believe like we've known each other for what 23 years now,
Yes,
almost.
absolutely. Almost 50% of our lives, I would say. Yeah, that's a
I know,
giveaway for our ages, but yeah, that's how it is.
unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable. Well, it's a pleasure. So let's dive in. So let's start with you call yourself consistently inconsistent. That's a big term to use for yourself, like,
Yeah.
and being vulnerable at the same time. So, how has embracing this identity shaped you over the years?
Yeah. See, the way I have lived my life and continue living it is, I don't think things work in linear fashion. And I'm extremely curious about things. I cannot keep doing the same things over and over again. I'm not a maintenance guy. I'm more of an adventure and a curious guy. So I like to try more things. And if you will look at my career arc, then I have always been doing things which somehow look not connected to each other, but for me they make sense. It's like my string of pearls. So moving from microbiology to sales and marketing to entrepreneurship to
Mm,
investment banking. When somebody else looks at it, it looks extremely inconsistent that this person doesn't probably know what he's doing. But for me, it is a natural progression of life. So I believe life happens in parallel, and I continue experimenting new things. Yeah, it has always helped me in terms of doing things, sticking my hand up and saying, okay, nobody has done it, let me try it.
okay,
I'm not afraid of failure. Yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
it's um, it's amazing you call it parallel path, and also being really sure of what you are doing. Because I have also done so many different things, but I think I'm more driven by circumstances and sometimes impulse than
hmm,
actually, having thought through every move that I made. So it's interesting, and I think gives me a lot of confidence to actually go back and think. I have actually started doing that lately to
excellent.
see that how the path has moved and for what reason. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. So you spoke about sales, marketing, investment banking. I think you've done some teaching as well, right?
Yep,
You
yeah, yeah. So I teach currently not much and often, but I'm associated with the Nursi Monji Family Business School, Praveen Dalal School of Entrepreneurship, and I teach young entrepreneurs coming out of business families. So I've been doing that for a while now.
That,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I would have never thought that you had that aspect also to yourself.
Yeah.
So, what kept you going? When you were making all these changes, taking this uncharted path, very often, I would say.
Yeah.
What kept you?
So there has never been like I want to do this or do that. As in, there is not a fact that I want chasing something. I'm always looking for something which challenges my current status quo in terms of what is possible in me. And when I started Equipoise, for that matter, my coaching business, the line that I have as a tagline for my business is helping willing businesses and people find their true potential. And I think it makes sense that I do it myself before I start preaching about it. So I keep testing myself in terms of what's still left, what skill that I have not checked or not done, not tried. And the operating statement is if somebody tells me you haven't done it, I always say not yet, which means I can still go ahead and do it and at least test it out.
Yeah.
Some things work out. So far in the last 30 years, things have been working well. There have been moments when it did not pan out the way I thought, but that's where the learning comes in, right? I wouldn't call them mistakes. I look at it as a journey and say, okay, so it did not work this way. I planned it in a different manner. I have some learning, so I can pivot from there. So that keeps me going. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm curious, actually, as you were growing up, your early school, college, and all of that, anything that, when you think back, anything that stands out as an experience which you feel in hindsight that has shaped you up as an individual?
So growing up, if I had to go back into my childhood or early youth, I have always been a person which people have relied on, irrespective of age, to seek counsel from. So I come from a place of non-judgmental communication. I have always heard people well. Now whether that's a 70-year-old man or a 60-year-old person or a 15-year-old kid or somebody with me as a friend going through their trials and tribulations of life, I have always given it a patient ear. So, and I don't know where that came from. My father was also like that, and people used to come to him for seeking counsel, writing letters. He was extremely good in the English language. So
Okay.
anything that had to be written and applications at that time, those were the days of applications, no email, so handwritten, not even typed, handwritten letters, 3 pages, 4 pages, seeking something from the organization. I have seen him do that with people, and without any expectation or anything in return. It's just that he felt that he had the necessary knowledge, and it was his duty to help people. And he kept doing that all his life. I think that subconsciously, or I just watching him came to me, and I went into this profession of coaching as a natural thing. So that
Hmm.
is one thing that I think I can look from my early years, giving counsel to people, give them a patient ear. And then I also became a member of Rotaract Club very early in my life.
Okay.
I think I was 18 or 19 when I became a president of the club, and I had people who were probably 10 years older to me, and I wouldn't say they were reporting to me, but I was responsible for them. And interestingly, this will be surprising to a lot of people, but I couldn't stitch together one sentence in English or Marathi because I used to stammer a lot. Stammer as in
Oh,
big time stammering. Yeah. So the funny thing, and this is something which I joke about now, that my birthday and Ritik Roshan's birthday is on the same day, same year. And obviously he became Ritik Roshan, but he also stammers, and he has admitted it publicly that it's difficult for him to go through. And I somehow Rotaract helped me to do that. And as a leader, I could speak, went on the podium. I still remember when I went on a podium first in front of a mic. I wouldn't have imagined today that I will stand in front of 100, 200 people and give lecture. Absolutely not. I was absolutely petrified, shivering, but I did not show that. I still went through it. And those are some pivotal moments of my early life, which I think have shaped me, that I just put myself in harm's way and just went through it, and the fear vanished. Yeah,
that's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I can see that, right? What you see as a child growing up around
Yeah.
you, and initial struggle to kind of discover yourself
Yeah.
and have a lasting impression on who you become eventually.
True.
Like sharing, it's a really inspiring story, I'd say. So many people that you come across have that
Yeah.
fear, and find it difficult to get past that. So you have studied microbiology, and you realized early on that that wasn't something that was meant for you. So how and you've talked about, obviously, the different paths that you have taken. But it's not easy to make a shift, right? That you have invested so much time in studying,
Yeah.
learning. There, this, and in India, there's so much associated with, what you study and what you become through that. Uh, how important is it to listen to that inner voice and make changes early on?
Oh, that's an excellent question, Usha. I think that inner voice is your guide. Uh,
Mhm.
Many a times people get confused with that inner voice because generally it tries to keep you out of harm's way and keeps telling you, don't do this, I don't think you should be doing this, or just puts you in a place where trying to keep you safe. I think it comes from our primitive brain, the reptilian brain, which says, don't go there. But I've always paid attention to my inner voice. My intuition is extremely strong. I would say I have seen my life ahead much before I have lived it, and I can boldly say that because I envisage, I vision it, and things happen. So it's like a deja vu for me. Things happen in my life, so I've probably already lived it. Sounds very different and cliched and odd, but for me, it's like I'm walking into a future rather than coming into without knowing what it is. So for me, it's always been like that. Moving from microbiology, so initially I wanted to become, when I did my master's, I had two choices. I got selected for a prestigious Mumbai MBA school, and I also got the admission in MSc microbiology. So I had the burning desire to become a genetic scientist, and so I gave up my management seat. Um, and then 30 years later, 23 years later, I went back into management, teaching people. So it's funny, but that's how life brings you full circle. So when I went to microbiology, sitting in front of a laminar flow, I did it for about, I think, 11, 12 months. I realized I cannot do that. As in, it's just not my personality. By then, obviously, I had started speaking. I was more vocal, extrovert, and I couldn't sit in front of a petri plate and looking for salmonella and E. coli in water, and I didn't think that was me. So when I saw an ad for we are hiring MSc microbiologist biochemistry, I just jumped into it and said, okay, they are looking for somebody who with my qualification. Nobody asked that, so let me go and check it out. And that's where my sales and marketing journey started, and it's been wonderful ever since. Yeah, I still am in touch with microbiology, and I read about it because it's my passion and I love the subject. It's again coming from my childhood, and this is subconscious. My mom wanted to become a microbiologist, but she became an accountant. She became an accountant in Indian Oil, and there was a book on microbiology at home which had blood cells and everything, and I probably picked it up early. And then I said, "This is a fascinating subject. We need to go deeper." Now I went deeper into microbiology, but I realized now I'm going deeper into human psyche. So microbiology still continues in some form. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think
Yep.
the
Yeah.
behavior microbiology.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't
So
think that's outside world, the outside world.
yes, absolutely. So
That's amazing. And I can so relate to that. I probably shared this. I studied chemistry
yeah.
and 3 months actually as a quality analyst in a pharmaceutical lab. And I realized this is not working out for me. I
Yeah.
can't be stuck in a lab all my life. I have to do something else. I think so much similar there, at least the initial part of the career. That's that's great. Okay, so and then I going back to what you just mentioned, the road track uh, club that you club is it club?
Yes, club. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, road track club, and had a pivotal foundation for your leadership journey. So what And you spoke about being responsible for people. They're not reporting to you, this influencing without authority, maybe that,
Correct. So,
call it in the corporate world. How how did you manage that, and what have you taken from there when you were working with these senior folks, peers, and what guided you through that phase?
so, the one thing that guided me was that everybody has agency in themselves. As in, people genuinely want to do good things. There are always some oddballs in life that we come across, but by and large, people want to actually do the best thing that they can within their abilities. So my leadership style actually got developed, and again, lack of a better word, I'm calling it a style. It's just the way I operate.
Yeah.
Is I see myself responsible for things because if and that's how I went into the coaching profession. That I like other people getting succeeding or helping people succeed, and that's how I call my success. That I am a cause in the matter for somebody else's success. Titles, designations have never mattered to me because that's a myth. Title doesn't give you leadership abilities. Your method of working, your communication, your genuineness, that's what leadership is all about. So that
Yeah.
has shaped me, and that also became my natural way of leading people. I have always supported people to grow because I can see that potential within them. People have self-doubt. I do. I also have doubt, and somebody else has worked on me to get that best out of me. So I just am passing it forward. So the idea is that one has to be responsible to grow. You have to go become uncomfortable to become comfortable to again become uncomfortable, and then the cycle continues. Uh, yeah. So that's how it is.
Yes. Yeah. Any incident from that experience that stands out, and when you look back, you feel like you were not prepared for that, and you had to sort of navigate that situation uh, to get the outcome that you wanted.
So I think the one situation, and again, this is early part of my career, and again, this comes back to the food microbiology
Hmm.
thing. I like it was a microbiology course. I went into a food export-oriented unit. The people I was working with were all multilingual, Telugu, Tamil, people who were in the factory workers. I did not have anybody reporting into me. And that's when probably I subtly realized that I don't have that necessary abilities to communicate language barrier to begin with. But I quickly got over it. I said ultimately human beings are human beings, and I started going to the factory floor, talking to people, sitting with them, understanding their lives. And I I think Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam did not bother. We all spoke. Some of them I'm still in touch with after probably 30 years of my life, and it. I felt I was unprepared,
Hmm.
but like I said, I am always up for a challenge. I'm curious. Why not? What is it that will stop me? I'll have to give it a go. And I keep reading. I think that's one area that has always helped me. That whenever I'm unprepared for something, and when I have the answer I don't know, I'll find the answer. I'll read books. I'll ask people. I'll get some counsel, and I'll move forward. So I'll not stop myself. So so that those situations and that keep happening through my career. That I have been given roles and responsibilities which probably were meant to in some way put me in harm's way and make me fail, but I still succeeded because for me it was another challenge. Why not? Let's do it. When I left my corporate job, I was doing three roles between capital equipments, which were worth 60, 70, 1 crore, something which was 5 lakhs, and I was handling marketing. So, and I felt, oh wow, this is lovely. I was not feeling stretched, but I loved it. So it kind of foxes people who try to corner me. Uh, so nothing rattles me. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I like the fact, I mean, being prepared by reading about the subject,
Yeah.
as they, you learn from somebody else's experience who's actually written the book.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of doing that all over again and learning from it.
Yeah.
So going to leadership style, and you spoke about it
Yeah.
from your experience in when you were at road track, um, and that evolved into a style rooted in coaching. Um, what, according to you, what does coaching-based leadership look like in practice? If you can maybe even quote an example of how you have practically applied
Hmm.
leadership through coaching through or leadership through coaching or
Yeah.
coaching through
Through
leadership.
leadership.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all
Both.
collapse for me. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all collapse. Leadership and coaching. So again, I use the word I'm responsible. I don't see anybody reported to me ever. I have always been Mac. Yeah. So I have never liked being called sir or something. Even my students sometimes refer to me as Mac rather than calling me Mac sir. Because it's I know it's respect and all of that, but for me, authority is about when you can influence people to do something which they have not tried or they want to trust you fully. So my leadership has always been about getting people to do more, as in help them understand that if you have not done it before or you have never tried it before, doesn't mean you can't do it. You have skill sets which you can learn. If you don't have mindset, then that's where coaching comes in. And my reading habits or the way I look at the philosophies of world, whether it is Osho, whether it is Stoicism, or anything in between. Naval Ravikant is a big influence on my life. I follow his thought, and I try to bring that to people in simplistic manners. So that you don't want to be heavy on philosophy. Nobody wants a Baba or a Guru or something of that sort. But I try to let people know that look, it's not that difficult. Let's break it down into pieces. Let's identify the uh, least common denominator and do simple actions. Take the first step, the next will follow, the next will follow. The one example I think I can quote, and this is something which I am very happy about, was there were two young women who used to, again, not reported to me, if they were doing in somebody else's team, but they were doing a fabulous job for the company. I was leading marketing, and they were doing all the work, and I was invited by a magazine to write an article about how we were doing things in the company. And while I kind of influenced the article, I said I gave it to both of them, and said that you write it. I explained to the editor that I don't want my name. I want their names to be as authors, and my name can be somewhere in the subtext. And not because I wanted to be holier than thou or something. They genuinely deserved it because they did all the work, and that gave them a lot of confidence, and I felt a lot of pride in it. But that also put me in a lot of trouble because I think in some doing that I did something which was supposed to be not to be done, and I did not seek permissions and blah blah blah. Typical corporate stupidity. I don't regret it at all. But so that's where I learned that if you have to do something, just go ahead do it. We can seek permission, and you can always say sorry later. Or sometimes you don't even have to say sorry, because if you have done it right and your heart was in the right place, you just
Yeah,
move on. Somebody is going to be unhappy in your life. That's all right. That's their problem. Yeah,
that's an interesting story.
yeah,
So you strongly believe that anyone can do anything, right?
yeah,
And if you ask the right question, you get the answers.
yeah.
Um, how can leaders create a culture where asking for help is not looked at as failure?
Mm. So the primary thing a leader can do is uh, create some kind of psychological safety. So there it has to be a high trust environment.
Yeah.
Work shouldn't feel like work. It's about mission orientation. It's about chasing a goal, which could be short term, long term. It could be extremely visionary, which could be 10 years out. But when all of us are moving in the same direction, bringing our differences and uniqueness and marching forward, then obviously we don't have all the answers. So if the leader can show vulnerability, I had heard it somewhere that if you show your vulnerability, gives others an opportunity to show their humanity. I don't know who mentioned it or where I read it, but I kind of connected that when you say that I don't know if the leader at the stage, because in today's world, a leader is expected to have certainty. It's not possible.
Yeah.
That's a farce. That's bravado and that's lying. It's all right to say I don't know, but let's find it out together. And if you do that as a leader, then it allows permission and safety for others to say, I don't know, but I want to find this out. Where can I go? And how can you help me? And that's how it works. So it has to be led by example. It has to be, again, it not has to be vocalized. It's just a part of the culture of how a leader leads. And that's how it follows. So anything proclaimed becomes like a process. We are not process-driven people. We are humans. So processes are necessary to keep things in check and manage them. But the first thing is trust. And I think that's the bedrock of everything. If there is trust and genuineness, vulnerability, I think things are easy. Even in difficult times, things are easy.
Love that quote. Whoever said that. Well, when you
Yes.
become vulnerable, others can show their humanity.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think it's true, right? And increasingly, I think with so much of change happening, it's difficult to to know everything, right? And
Yep.
be an expert at everything around. So yeah, I do that too, is like raise my
Yeah.
hands and say, I don't know
Yeah.
this, but I'm here to learn and remove roadblocks, but being
Correct.
surrounded by experts is
Yeah.
better than being surrounded by
Yeah.
ignorance.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So one of your engagements right now is a company that you founded, which is called universitytech.io. It's
Right. Yeah.
interesting,
Yeah.
University Tech. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So yeah, so this is an interesting business, and it's a huge leap. And again, this is again my string of pearls, and I'll tell you the story so you'll understand where it comes from.
Okay.
Like I said, I wanted to become a genetic scientist. I did not come anywhere close to it. But I learned sales and marketing and commercial deal making. And so when my co-founder Parag Agrawal was putting together the work for universitytech.io in terms of helping universities globally who have tremendous amount of research but somehow are not able to market it to the industry, either for bureaucratic reasons or various other factors, multi-factors. And this happens across the world. I felt that here is my chance to come back to the scientist side of me, but help scientists make more money, universities make more money. And so it came as a full circle for me. So our business here is creating a platform, creating a community where we will connect academia and industry and look
Mhm.
for intellectual property and technology as a growth engine for businesses. Not just for big corporates, but smaller and medium businesses also who can acquire research, develop it, convert that into IP, increase their valuation. There are multiple second order effects to that, more job creation, more dependence over an agency or your own technology. You can see that happening in India currently. A lot of money being poured into research and development, a lot of funds coming through. Today there was an announcement of fund of funds for research by the government of India, and so we are right in the middle of it. So we want to be an organization where everything R&D comes together. I think we are on the right path. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a very unique uh, business model, I'd say. Are there any others who do similar stuff, or you're like the pioneer in this space?
So there are people who are doing this in different ways, but I don't think anybody is doing the way we are doing it. Again, this again sounds cliche. We are different than everybody else, but the the typical business that we are trying to build is kind of an ecosystem of multivariate partners, lawyers, IP valuation, subject matter experts, scientists, and that at a global scale. There are businesses which do this for IP in the normal domain, which is in commercialization domain, what you call as patents, but nobody's
Mhm.
focusing on universities the way we are doing it. So then I would say we are probably unique in that form, and there is a lot of work to be doing in that area. Yeah.
How's been the acceptance from the universities to get on board?
So universities have liked the idea. Again, it is like like I said, there is inertia in terms of doing things. Universities have their own methods of working, so it has taken us time, but we have scored some good relationship with multiple universities globally, and we are punching above our weight. The idea is that everybody looks to the West for product-driven businesses which are large.
Right.
We are claiming that we will build a extremely big product business from India for the world. So we are building it in a manner where it can scale. A lot of do it yourself DIY work, but also off ground working, supporting, creating a category. So universities have been good. We have a very strong relationship with IIT Mumbai, just to quote one, in terms of commercializing their technologies, and we keep bringing businesses to them for buying their technologies with their students and faculties have developed over a number of years. So it's very fulfilling to do that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sure like over the years there must be so much of research done,
Yep.
and it ends up in a PhD thesis maybe and never sees the light of
Yes.
the day.
Yeah. And
So,
yeah. Yeah. So
yeah.
that's the unfortunate part, and that's where we are trying to change that. There is so much research which is lost for whatever reasons. We want to make sure that it reaches the market, which is intended to be done in that way, and we will be the cause in the matter to hold that flag post and say we'll do this.
Awesome. Well, wish
Yep.
you all the best.
Thank you so
We're,
much.
we're looking forward to this getting really big.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
of course, yeah. All right, going back to you. Now you had so many transitions, right? Like because you have done so many things. As you were transitioning, and I'm sure it must have felt uncomfortable, like you said, getting comfortable with the discomfort, and risky at times. Any mantra that has again helped you get past those doubtful moments?
Okay, so I'm smiling because you touched upon a very, very dear subject in terms of, yeah, there is some fear sometimes in terms of what can happen. But the whole idea is that I probably, uh, and I'll give you two stories around this. Early in life, my brother gave me a book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. This probably was when I was eighth or ninth standard. It's written by Richard Bach. Talks about a seagull which tries to do things differently. And I'm just a synopsis of the story is that um, uh, seagulls are supposed to go behind a trawler, fishing boat, eat the fish which are being uh, what do you call caught by the fishermen, and come back
Mhm.
to the shore. But this Jonathan Livingstone wanted to go deeper and eat tasty fish. So he started looking at other birds like which used to go deeper into the water. And so long story, I kind of became that Jonathan Livingstone seagull in saying that I want to do something which is difficult, which is beyond the normal shores of water, maybe troubled waters, but I will get a different tasty fish. So that probably subconsciously went into my system. The second bit is about I'm a big follower of Krishna. I have a tattoo of a peacock leaf and on my shoulder, and it says Sab Maya hai. So I have always believed everything is anyway Maya. Whatever you do with it. So whether it is failure or success, it's nothing permanent. So when you say if things don't work out, it's Maya. If it works out, it's still Maya. So don't get caught in either of it, and that keeps me grounded. That keeps me real. I don't want to be very pompous about I did this, I did that, or become too brooded that I failed or I did not succeed in this. It's neutral because it's all Maya. So that keeps me grounded. So yeah, I don't know whether I answered your question or what you asked, but that those are two of my stories which I keep reminding me that hey, you need to go out of the way to get something beautiful, and if it doesn't, it's still Maya. So don't worry, keep going.
For sure, I think it definitely keeps you um sane, I would say.
Yeah,
Like the joy and maybe
yes,
the sadness of not getting, I think, somewhere in between, which is so
correct.
important. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, some of our scriptures, because I think
yeah,
It's actually therapy in action, right? Some
Yeah.
of these things, the way it is written, it's very
True.
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so probably towards the end, I can't believe we are already here, but what is one question every leader should start asking themselves, do you think, if they truly want to grow beyond the limits, the constraints that we put around ourselves?
Hmm.
You talk about like asking questions to learn new stuff and
Yeah.
and ask for help, but sometimes we put these unknown restrictions around ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So, any thoughts?
So yeah, there are few questions. I'll take one in particular that is, am I being helpful or useful to others? And not from a very social service point of view, but are you useful? You have been given a certain set of talent, knowledge, abilities, skills. Are you putting them to good use? And when you ask it to yourself, then you get permission to ask it to others that you have certain skill sets, some education, some background, some abilities. Are you putting it to good use? And so that's the primary question, which means, are you doing just enough that you know? And the second
Mm,
question is, why not try more? You need to stay relevant, and that's where my consistently inconsistent comes in a one form that things have changed. I think we are a generation in India, particularly. We were pre-internet, analog generation, right? We moved into internet. We got uh, first mobile phones, then we moved into semi-smartphones, then smartphones, and now we are completely digital, so to speak. So we as a generation have, at least particularly my generation, has adapted extremely quickly and learned to be relevant. Otherwise, we would have been thrown out, right? And so the one question that you need to ask yourself is, are you testing yourself to limit? You use the word self-limiting beliefs, right, in some form. There's
right.
nothing self-limiting. It's always self-limiting. There's nothing limiting. Obviously, there are things that one shouldn't try without proper skills and training. You shouldn't put yourself in a reckless situation where you'll get hurt. Uh,
Right.
but but those two questions: am I utilizing my talent, and am I being useful? And am I going beyond my normal to learn something new, so that I can try something different? Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
that's great, actually. Are you being useful and are you learning?
yeah.
Great. Any parting thoughts, Mac? And our audience are mostly leaders and especially new leaders. Anything that you would like to say before we close?
Yeah, so I think no parting thoughts particularly, but the one thing that I think everybody should consider, especially in today's time when we are getting polarized and we are getting multiple direction. There are camps, politically and otherwise, thought processes and whatever you call it. I think we should focus on collaboration a lot, because that's one word which I feel, if everybody imbibes it really well, then we can create wonders. Especially in this part of the world, India in particular, we are at the cusp of something great. Things have been different for the last few years, and all the technological advances that are happening. Obviously, there are things which are not great sometimes, which happens everywhere. But the one thing that I would, as a parting thought, is collaborate, start giving, things will come around. I think again it comes from our scriptures. Uh, you keep giving, and life will give it back to you in some form or the other. So I think that's
Mm.
the parting thought I'll give people, that start giving without expectations, and life will take care of you.
On that really wonderful thought, Mac, thank you so much for joining the podcast. It was lovely talking to you, and wish you all the best with everything that you're trying and will try in future.
Thank you, Usha, and thanks for inviting me. I think you're doing a splendid job in bringing different people from different walks of life and speaking on leadership. I hope our conversation will touch few souls, and maybe they will get some direction, and they will put to good use in their lives. So thank you very much once again. Keep doing the great work. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, that was a wonderful conversation, wasn't it? If you ever felt that you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, Mac's story is a great example of staying resilient, learning through the process, and enjoy the process. The ride is more important than the destination. Well, if you like to keep hearing such wonderful, inspiring stories, follow us, like us, and share. We'll be back with yet another leader and yet another beautiful story. Until then, keep leading the way.